Good morning all. Today's topic of discussion is VLSI testing and analysis part 4. Objective of this lecture is to make the students familiarize with design for testability, scan and partial scan methods. So, definition of design for testability. There are different methods which we can categorize as DFT for digital circuits and DFT for mixed signal circuits. So this design for testability refers to those design techniques that make test generation and test application cost effective. So we have this DFT for digital circuits and then DFT for mixed signal circuits. In this DFT for mixed signal circuits, the analog test bus is provided so that we can do the testing for both analog and digital circuits. Whereas for digital circuits, we have two categories, ad hoc method and structured methods. And in structured methods, we have scan, partial scan, BIST, that is built-in self-test, and then we have the boundary scan. So one by one, we will be studying the DFT for digital circuits, that is included in your syllabus. DFT for mixed signal is not the part of the curriculum. So we will be concentrating on DFT for digital circuits. So in this lecture, we will be studying the details of ad hoc method, and in structured method, we will be studying scan and partial scan. For BIST, I have the separate lectures, and boundary scan also one separate lecture is there. So we will see the details of this ad hoc DFT method. Good design practices learnt through experience are used as guidelines, like avoid asynchronous feedback, make the flip-flops initializable, avoid redundant gates, avoid large fan-in gates, provide test control for difficult to control signals, avoid gated clocks, consider AT requirement, then the design reviews conducted by experts or design auditing tools, and there are some disadvantages for this ad hoc DFT, and those are experts and tools not always available. Test generation is often manual with no guarantee of high fault coverage, and design iterations may be necessary. The next part of this DFT is the structured DFT, in which the first method is scan design. So what is this scan design? This design is also called as scan chain. It is the technique used in design for testing, and the objective is to make the testing easier by providing a simple way to set and observe every flip-flop in the IC. So this is applicable only for all the memory elements, that is the flip-flops in the chip. The basic structure of the scan includes the following set of signals in order to control and observe the scan mechanism. So generally, the circuit is designed using pre-specified design rules. the test structure, that is the hardware, is added to the verified design. Add a test control primary input. Replace flip-flops by the scan flip-flops SFF and connect to form one or more shift registers in the test mode. So all the flip-flops, they will be connected in a chain. Make input or output of each scan shift register controllable and observable from primary inputs to primary outputs. Use combinational ATPG, that is automatic test pattern generator, to obtain the test for all testable faults in the combinational logic. Add shift register test and convert ATPG test into the scan sequences for use in manufacturing test. So as per the rules which just now we have seen, this is the diagram which includes some combinational logic with flip-flop, and in this logic we can see the separate flip-flops are there. For the first combinational logic block 1, we have the input x of 1 and output is z of 1, and there are so many flip-flops on the input side as well as on the output side. Then we have another block, that is combinational logic 2. The input is x of 2 and output is z of 2, and in between we have so many flip-flops. Now all these flip-flops are separate one. To have the scan chain architecture, some modifications are done in the hardware itself, and after modification we'll get this type of structure, in which the combinational logic block, there will not be any change. Only the flip-flops in the circuit, they are interconnected and they are forming one chain. There is one additional input that we can see, that is SDI, that is scan data in or scan data input. This SDI is applied to the first flip-flop in the chain. Remaining all flip-flops are interconnected, like flip-flop 1 output is acting as an input to the flip-flop 2, and through the chain of flip-flops the data will run like this. Then we have this another set of flip-flop through which again the data will run, go to the next till the last flip-flop, and output of last flip-flop will be SDO, that is scan data out or scan data output. So a chain of flip-flops is formed. So scan in and scan out define the input and output of the scan chain. In a full scan mode, usually each input drives only one chain and scan out observe one as well. The scan enable pin is a special signal that is added to the design. So when this signal is asserted, every flip-flop in the design is connected into the long shift register. So all these flip-flops, they are just now they are forming one long shift register. So right from this first flip-flop, data will be just shifted from first to next flip-flop, and a shift register, a big long shift register is formed. So we are inserting the input scan data input and we are getting the scan data output. So scan design rules. So use only clock D type flip-flop for all the state variables. At least one primary input pin must be available for test. More pins, if available, can be used. All clocks must be controlled from primary inputs. Clock must not feed data inputs of flip-flops. So what is the procedure for this scan testing? Scan in the test vector QI values via SDI using the test clock TCK. SDI is the scan data input, and the clock signal which is used for controlling all the flip-flops in the chain during the shift phase and the capture phase. An arbitrary pattern can be entered into the chain of flip-flops and the state of every flip-flop can be read out. So apply the corresponding test values to the Xi inputs. After sufficient time for the signal to propagate through the combinational network, verify the output Zi values. Apply one clock pulse to the system clock SCK to store the new value of Qi into the corresponding flip-flop. Scan out and verify the Qi values by pulsing the test clock TCK. And then you have to repeat step 1 through 5 for each test vector. So this is the scan path test circuit using 2-port flip-flops. And here you can see the different control signals. We have the combinational logic having the inputs X1 to Xn and outputs Z1 to Zm. And all the flip-flops, they are interconnected. They are connected in a chain fashion. So we have the scan data input over here. All the clocks C1, they are connected to SCK, that is the system clock, and then the another clock C2 of all the flip-flops, that is also interconnected and given to the test clock. So either we can go for this test clock or the system clock. So in the normal mode it will be using the system clock, in the test mode it will be using the test clock. And then normal mode, Q1 will be given as D1 input and output Q will be taken given to the combinational logic. So this is the normal functioning. In scan mode, input will be considered from this SDI, it will run through D2, then Q, it is connected to the next flip-flop input D2, it will run through this, go over here, and likewise through the chain of flip-flops, finally we will get the output SD0, that is scan data out. This is another scan test configuration with multiple ICs. So that was shown for one IC. If such multiple ICs will be there, there is a test controller which will control this test clock, scan clock and the scan data input. Output of first IC, that is scan data out, will act as an input for the next IC, that is IC2. So SD out of IC1 is connected to SDI of IC2, and likewise all the chips, they will be connected in series, and finally you will get the output from the last chip. Then how this is applied to the sequential circuit test? So we have the combinational circuit, that block you can see it over here, combinational circuits. The inputs to this combinational circuit, primary inputs are there, W1 to Wn, and then we have the primary outputs Z1 to Zm. And for this combinational circuit, to make it sequential, we will be adding some memory elements which can store the present state variable and next state variables. So it will take the feedback from the primary outputs. So this is the general model for sequential circuit, and it will take the output of combinational circuit. It will run through the memory element. So next state variable, from which we will get the present state variable, and then given to the combinational circuit. And such chain of flip-flops is there. So a combinational circuit is tested by comparing its behavior with functionality specified in the truth table. Similarly, a sequential circuit is tested by comparing its behavior with the functionality specified in the state table. So instead of truth table, we will be using state table for the sequential circuit. So in this sequential circuit, how the scan path arrangement is made, that is shown. So we have group of multiplexers and group of flip-flops. The multiplexers are used over here for doing the selection whether we want the normal mode or the scan mode. So in the scan mode, so this is the select input of a multiplexer, which is normal bar or scan. So we can either go for normal mode or we can go for the scan mode. So if the logic 1 signal is provided over here, it will enter into the scan mode, and then in the normal mode the multiplexer A input will be selected. In the scan mode, multiplexer B input will be selected. So the scan input is provided, a stream of ones and zeros is provided over here. So that will run through this multiplexer. Through this select input, it will be selected, connected to the output. It will be applied to the D input. The same stream is available as Q. Then it will run, go through second set of multiplexer. Here also again, with the help of this scan mode, B input is selected and that is connected to the output given to this flip-flop, and then here we have the scan output. So whatever scan in is provided, that same is available as the scan out. So if there is any fault anywhere, then the scan in and scan out data, it will not match, and we can do the partial scan for this fault checking. In the normal mode, instead of selecting this scan input data, the data available at A input will be selected, that is Y1, Y2, which is nothing but the output of the combinational circuit, and then that Y1 or Y2 will be available and given to the further parts of the circuit. The same diagram is shown over here, but with all the connections. So this is the procedure for the scan path. So start, then scan in test vector into the flip-flop by setting the scan equal to 1. So we have to make this scan, that is the select input of this multiplexer, equal to 1. Then apply W1 to Wn test vector and perform the manual operation. So here we have to apply this all W1 to Wn. Observe Z1 to Zm, that is the outputs. Load generated output Y1 to Yk into the flip-flop. Select input keeping scan equal to 1 and contents are scanned out, and then we will stop. So this is the scan path arrangement and the corresponding steps followed to complete this scan path testing. Thank you.